Picture a perfectly ordinary college evening. You walk into a room, sit down on a heavy textured rug, and settle in to watch a movie. Nothing seems out of place, but this simple action is about to permanently destroy a friendship. To understand why, we have to look at the unique geography of a college double suite. This layout forces two separate bedrooms to rely entirely on a single central bathroom. Inside, a distinct social hierarchy formed. Our protagonist was deeply bonded with the twin sisters across the bathroom, frequently skipping her roommate's company to socialize in their space. Because of that constant foot traffic and shared downtime, the twins' bedroom had evolved from a standard dorm into a highly trusted, emotionally safe sanctuary. The catalyst for the conflict actually happens outside of that sanctuary. About a 15-minute walk away, in an entirely different residential building, the protagonist hits a major life milestone. She loses her virginity to her girlfriend. Immediately afterward, she goes through the standard routine. She wipes down, gets dressed, and begins the physical transition back to her own dorm. But on her walk home, her phone lights up. It's an innocent text from the twins. They're watching Star Wars, and she should come over. She walks into the dimly lit room and sinks directly onto the thick pile of cozy floor blankets right next to them. At that exact moment, she makes a micro-decision. A third, less familiar acquaintance is sitting there watching the movie with them. Dropping the news about her sex life in front of a near stranger feels socially awkward, so she decides to keep quiet. She thinks she's making a polite, low-friction choice. She is completely unaware that by carrying an unspoken, highly intimate secret into their sanctuary, she is planting an invisible time bomb. 2 full days pass. For 48 hours, that undisclosed intimacy is allowed to linger silently over every interaction in their shared space. The truth finally surfaces thanks to a completely unrelated passing sex joke from another friend. The protagonist grabs the moment as a low-stakes opportunity to casually drop her news. This diagram shows how that single confession forces the room apart. The reaction is sharply polarized. One accepts the news, while the other freezes, citing a severe religious objection. That ideological split immediately turns physical. The twins retreat, pulling their bedroom door tightly shut. That click of the latch finalizes the break. A singular, shared living arrangement violently splits into 2 incompatible moral frameworks. Behind that closed door, the twins engage in a frantic, compulsive response. They decide they have to meticulously wash every physical item the protagonist touched. They treat the situation as an emergency, frantically ripping up every plush rug and blanket in a desperate rush to purge the space of contact. Standing in the hallway, the protagonist deeply misunderstands the panic. She views this as a germophobic overreaction to basic bodily hygiene. Believing the issue is strictly logistical, she tries a highly practical fix. She forces the crisp $10 bill under the door to cover their washer and dryer fees. But she misses the underlying mechanism of purity culture, a belief system that closely ties physical virginity to moral worth. The protagonist is apologizing for being physically unwashed. The twins are frantically reacting to what they perceive as a severe spiritual contamination of their private space. Over the next week, the protagonist escalates her desperate attempts to bridge the gap. She leans on traditional college peace offerings, sliding handwritten apologies and fresh baked goods across the counter. But the twins issue their final ruling. They return the snacks and demand a permanent separation. The rejection is silent and absolute, as the plate of brownies is pushed away across the table in quiet defiance. The twins offer 2 explicit justifications for ending the friendship. First, the deep emotional hurt that the truth was hidden from them for days. Second, they declare an absolute necessity for an icy, silent coexistence until the academic year ends. Which leaves us with a stark debate. Did the protagonist violate basic consent by bringing an undisclosed, highly intimate secret into someone else's safe space? Or did the twins weaponize purity culture to punish a normal college life experience? The shared college dorm acts as a pressure cooker, forcing vastly different moral realities to collide in close quarters. It leaves us to look at the wreckage and decide who actually crossed the boundary first.